more dominant than Marcia Franklin. The rhythm comes out of that. And I tell you,
this is Bob Harris. My name is Gino's Pizza. What is Miss Janie?
Miss Judy.
Janie Judy, the coordinator of this affair. My wife's in this video with her standing next to me like this. I'm in trouble.
And I'm Dwayne Parham.
Oh, this is the great Wayne Parham, great musician, and he's just doing a play now, right?
Yeah, playwright for a play titled Alone in This World.
This is Bob Harris. He's the editor of Veterans Communication, which is a new communication paper that's coming out pretty soon for veterans.
Stand to meet and greet Miss Rosa, stand, please. Nice round of applause, huh? Miss Rosa, yes.
We ask that you forever keep us in your hands and in thy sight. This is our prayer. We ask in the mighty name of Jesus and for his name's sake. Amen.
And then the ANC anthem. In your programs, you should find Lift Every Voice and Sing.
It will be led by a split decision.
Please remain standing. may be seated. It gives me great pleasure to serve as your MC for the finale of the Reverse Freedom Tour. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Elaine Steele. She is one of the executive directors for the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development. She is also the co-chairperson for this event, and also she's responsible for my being your mistress of ceremony today. Mrs. Steele.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson. It's a great pleasure to be here this afternoon, this evening, and we do apologize for our late start. I wanted to introduce some very special guests to you. I'd like to introduce the head table, starting with Dr. Marion Moore, the Executive Director of the Museum of African American History. Dr. Moore, would you please stand? And of course, our esteemed Congressman from the 1st Congressional District, the Honorable John Conyers. And after I finish introducing our honored guests, I'd like Congressman Conyers to come and just bring greetings to us. And of course, our very honored guest, the reason that we're all here, Mrs. Rosa Parks. Would you remain standing? I'd like Aunt Everett Ward, Mrs. Parks' aunt, to join her. Mrs. Ward. Mrs. Ward is Mrs. Parks' father's sister, and she is visiting with us from Ozark, Alabama. She's been with us since June 28th, and we've had just a delightful time sharing experiences with her. We're just grateful to have her in our midst. She's 90 years old, and I know that we all wish that we can look and do as well when we're that age. Again, thank you so much, Aunt Everett, for joining us. You may be seated. Later in our program, Mrs. Aldridge will introduce the primary reason that we're here this evening, which is the finale of the Reverse Freedom Tour. That is when the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute brought youth from the South to the North, and I know that they too have had an enjoyable time. So sit back and enjoy. Congressman Conyers, would you join with us now?
Good evening, Rosa Parks, Mrs. Ward, Dr. Marion Moore, Executive Director of the Museum of African History in Detroit, to all of you who are so beautifully attired in our native costumes and wardrobe. I'm very, very pleased to be here to see everyone looking so beautiful. Let's give everyone that has dressed for the occasion in our native attire a big round of applause, because they really look beautiful, don't they? The last time that Mrs. Parks and I were together was when Nelson Mandela was in Detroit. Wasn't that an occasion? And this is an extension of Nelson Mandela's visit here. I was fortunate enough to meet with him in Washington, D.C., and I happened to fly out. When they went to Los Angeles, I had hearings in Los Angeles, so Tom Bradley, the mayor of Los Angeles invited me to be in the welcoming party when he received him at City Council in Los Angeles. And I am still filled up, like all of you are, with the exciting memory of him coming to America and moving us in our hearts, stirring us to a greater commitment. And that greater commitment can in no way be more forthcoming and demonstrated than our role tomorrow to vote. Here is Nelson Mandela, who could not either run for office or vote in his own native land, and we meet here, I suppose, especially because tomorrow is election day, and I would urge each and every one of you to get someone in your neighborhood to go to the polls and join us in choosing who's going to help govern in our city offices, our state and national offices. I can't help but tell you that only late Friday morning, the United States House of Representatives joined the United States Senate in passing the Civil Rights Act of 1990. You should give yourselves a round of applause. Because we had to call back for congressmen in Michigan to have them called into their district to remind them that we're watching how they're going to perform. And that's a demonstration of black political empowerment. The Civil Rights Act reversed 5 Reagan Supreme Court decisions that turned back job affirmative action and job discrimination cases that have been decided since 1970. And it's going to be very important to watch if Read My Lips Bush signs the bill that we have now sent to the White House. We don't know if he will or not. So for all of those reasons, please, let us enjoy the evening. We have a wonderful program. I want to thank all the businesses and citizens who joined in to help the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development have this wonderful demonstration. We all ought to leave a contribution, as I'm going to ask Michelle White on my staff to do, to leave a generous one for our campaign organization. And we are Rosa Parks. We are with you. We were with you before you came to Detroit from Selma. We have been with you all the way that you've been in Detroit. And now that you have a foundation with you, named after you and your late husband Raymond, we will stay with you. We will always be with Rosa Parks, the mother of the civil rights movement in the United States who lives in Detroit. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
even included in her show some traditional African fabrics and a traditional presentation of the Queen of the African Ball. We have McKay Edmond, our African Queen, presenting a token of their esteem to Mrs. Rosa Parks. Let's start joining and help them out. At this time, I'd like to introduce a representative of the city of Detroit, who is from the Wayne County Planning and Development Committee. He's also in our 13th Congressional District, and he's a very prominent young man in the city of Detroit. He's a Community Affairs Director for Trend Industries, which is a black metal stamping plant, and he's very prominent in the city of Detroit government. I'd like to introduce Mr. Jonathan Kinlock.
I would like to bring greetings to Ms. Rosa Parks and to the distinguished guests and the youth visiting the city of Detroit. It is indeed a pleasure on behalf of our Honorable Mayor, Mayor Coleman A. Young, to present a proclamation commending and recognizing the Reverse Freedom Tour. And basically what I'll do is I'll read the therefore portion of this proclamation. And it reads, therefore, I, Coleman A. Young, Mayor of the City of Detroit, issue this proclamation in commemoration of the Reverse Freedom Tour and the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development. May the Institute gain every success in years to come. And it's signed by the Honorable Coleman A. Young, Mayor of this city. After contacting the members of the Detroit City Council and informing them of this event, they put together a testimonial resolution also commemorating this event. And it reads, I'll read the resolved portion of this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that Detroit City Council commends and congratulates the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development, the staff and participants of the 1990 tour, and is signed by all 9 members of the Detroit City Council. Now, an individual contacted my office with regard to informing our elected officials of this event. This is something that needed to be recognized by our elected officials. This person was very persistent in making sure that I made the necessary phone calls in order to get these commemorations and this resolution and this proclamation from our elected officials. This individual was very cooperative in making sure that I had the information that they needed in order to prepare these documents. And I felt that this individual, because of her tireless effort for this event, and the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development needed to be recognized for her contributions as well. And the members of the Detroit City Council put together the Spirit of Detroit Award, which reads, "The Spirit of Detroit Award is presented herewith as an expression of the gratitude and esteem of the citizens of Detroit to Jamie Chuney, in recognition of exceptional achievement, outstanding leadership, and dedication to improving the quality of life," and is signed also by all 9 members of the Detroit City Council. Before I leave the podium, I would just like to also reiterate the importance of us to go tomorrow to the polls and to express our opinion. Tomorrow there's some very crucial races. One, which in the 13th Congressional District, where the electors in that area have to elect a person to replace the Honorable George Crockett. There are various school board election races, as well as county election races. So I'd like each and every one of you to be sure to go out and to cast your ballot. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Mrs. E. Brooks, and she's speaking from the musical play Alone in This World, written, directed, and produced by Dwayne Carney.
Good evening. Good evening. Are we live? Good evening. Are we all the way live? Oh, all right. Distinguished guests, Mrs. Parks, it is truly a pleasure for me to be in your presence. I've been in the same room with you many, many times, but never this close. Pleasure to meet you. You can do that, it's okay. My name is Eve Brooks, assistant to the producer of the musical play, Alone in This World. How many of you are familiar with crack cocaine? I know you don't want to admit it, but we've heard about it, right? Where? Where have we heard about it? Television, newspapers. Hopefully, that's as close as we'll ever get to crack cocaine. I'd like to set a stage for you right now. You have to pretend with me. It's dark. It's cold. It's eerie. I would like to introduce you to Diane Whitney as crack cocaine.
People don't like to talk about me. They say I'm getting too much publicity, but you had better wake up, 'cause I'm your worst nightmare. I am reality. Like my cohorts, heroin, codeine, marijuana, alcohol, and chore. I'll supply you with the moral deficiency. I'll make you a reject from society. I major in the invasion of the mind. Just hit me once and it's just a matter of time. I'll make you spineless. Life with me guarantees no kindness. Gonna make you confused, cause my job is to make you use. Just look what little old me has done. I've got a whole generation on the run. From me, no one's totally immune, cause with my introduction, somebody's life's doomed. I know this goes against my grain, but a little competition is part of the game. Now, in order to counterattack my horrendous blow, I've been told from those that know, don't make no conversation with me, just refuse. And whatever you do, don't use. I am the wrath of Cain, and the nation shall remember my name. And with tragedies on communities, I don't hesitate. I am the eliminator of the human race. I'm dangerous, I'm deadly, and I'm determined to get to you. Why? Because this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm more ferocious than that of the lion's roar. On my command, you're gonna want some more. I am the terminator of all dreams. I eradicate self-esteem. I immobilize its motivation. I'm guilty of death through association. Now I've got youngsters turn the trigger happy gangsters trying to achieve prestige, dismissing my rock misery. I'll make young ladies turn into sack chasers, manipulators, self-degraders in pursuit of me. I've got mothers crying and people dying at such a rapid rate. I'll be on you 24/7. There is no escape. Now for you non-believers here today, I am an epidemic. My impact is tremendous. I'm your fatal attraction. From me there is no retraction. I'll manipulate and humiliate while you accommodate me in your life. Then I'll smother you with my charm, causing you to suffocate. Now, you must believe that I grant no reprieve. So if you want to avoid my horrendous blow, listen to those that know. Don't make no conversation with me, just refuse. And whatever you do, don't use. Say what? I said, whatever you do, don't use. Say what?
Ladies and gentlemen, Diane Whitney. The Entertainment Arts Society is a brand new organization founded by Dwayne Parham. Dwayne Parham is one of the writers, musical arrangers, producers, composers, and musicians of Alone in This World. Entertainment Arts Society is a nonprofit organization that supports the musical play. And in that play, it depicts some of the problems from society, some problems from life, crack cocaine being one of them. Since we are a new organization, we heavily depend on word of mouth for advertising. If you like what you saw of Diane, then we know that you will love the play in its entirety. If you like it, tell someone else. Tell them you'd like to share that experience with them. I'd like to just elaborate just a little bit on some of the things that the play talks about. One of them is AIDS. We're all afraid of the word AIDS, and we've all attributed limited to homosexuality. AIDS is not a word, it is an acronym. It means Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. It's real, it's a threat, it's death. Alcoholism. How many of you didn't know that alcohol was in fact a drug? Took me many years to understand that. I mean, I thought that all alcoholics were people who drank something out of a brown paper bag and lived on Skid Row somewhere. That's not true. Most alcoholics die before they get to Skid Row. Alcohol is in fact a drug, and it will kill you. But before it kills you, you will die inside. You will lose all motivation and love of human things. You will lose your ability to think, to reason, to plan. If you're living with an addict, you are living an impossible life. Homelessness. There have been homeless people forever. But now, we're facing a new kind of homeless. Statistics indicate that a percentage of people are only 3 paychecks from being out there in the cold. We have entire families with no place to go. That's not just the title of a song. Child abuse. It's at epidemic proportions. Abused children become abusive adults. They either abuse themselves or others, or allow themselves to be abused. As a people, our self-esteem has been eroded, almost completely erased. It's up to us to take responsibility to find the love that's inside of ourselves. If we love ourselves, our children can look up to us. And if they can look up to us, they'll never look down on themselves. Children do not make up 100% of the population, but they do in fact make up 100% of our future. We have a responsibility to ourselves and to them. Remember the Entertainment Arts Society, and I would like to present to you the writer, the musical composer, the arranger, the founder, Mr. Dwayne Parham. Stand up.